I'm back in my home country and I'm hugging my grandma and she says, "Estoy tan orgulloso de ti." I finally reached my goals of financial freedom and I'm here to provide for my family. I'm at the peak of my health and happiness. I wake up every single day and I work on something meaningful with a smile on my face. And I'm able to look into the mirror and say, I did all of this. But I'm laying in my bed, fantasizing about all of this. But something interesting happens the next day. Because of that fantasy, I woke up the next day and my brain had this urge to recreate that belief. And I ended up working as hard as I could. I doubled my output in just one morning. And what I realized is to make meaningful progress towards your goal and to reach some sort of level of success, you first have to change your self-image. And that is the way you see yourself. Because you act in the way you see yourself. For example, if you wake up every single day and look at yourself in the mirror and say that you're a loser and you really believe that identity about yourself, everybody else is going to see you as a loser. If you wake up every single day and you look into the mirror and you see a confident guy, then you're going to be more confident and people are going to see that confidence. Because it's ingraining into your mind and into your belief system that if I'm a loser, then I have to act like it. If I'm confident, then I have to act like it. Our bodies don't really like to contradict our identity. If something doesn't match with our identity, it just gets discarded. Let me give you an example. Imagine there's this guy and he really believes he's a loser and he is invited to join this race. So he's lining up amongst all these other guys in the race line and they go 3, 2, 1 and then everybody starts running. But in the back of his mind, he thinks to himself, oh, I'm a loser anyway, I'm gonna lose, so why do I even try? And he ends up coming dead last. Now, he probably had the ability to not come dead last, but just because of that self-image about himself, he decided to not try because he didn't want to contradict that identity about thinking himself that he's a loser. If he's a loser, then why would he try compared to these guys who are better than him? And you have to become a different person, and you do that by changing your self-image to actually reach your goals. It's not like you reach your goals and then you change your self-image. Because think about it this way. In the best football players, do you think they play the game and then they win it and then they become good at football? No, they train, they believe that they're actually good at football. So when they actually go outside into the world championship game, they just reenact those beliefs. And they already trained, so they're already good. So when they win, it's because of all the training they did. It wasn't like they played the game and then they became good. And it's the same with goals and changing your self-image. Your self-image is kind of like this plant pot and you're the plant. So whenever you want to expand your roots and become more successful, if your plant pot, your self-image is small, it's not going to allow you. Because it's going to have the belief that you're a loser, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, it might as well not try because I'm not that good. So you're locking yourself in. But imagine you expand this plant pot by expanding and improving your self-image. You'll be able to expand your roots and actually become more successful because you have the mindset and the ability to do so. Because you probably heard it online all the time, like, oh, it's all about mindset, it's not about tactics, it's all about the mindset, it's all in the mind. And you hear it from so many successful people, but none of them really explain to you how it works. They just tell you, oh, it's all in the mindset, all in the mindset. But it's because your self-image controls your actions, and your actions of course dictate your life. And our self-image is made up of experiences in the past. For example, if you were a little boy and you were told you're a winner, oh, you did such a good drawing, that's going to reinforce the belief that you're a good drawer. This happened to me when I was little. I used to be pretty decent at drawing. So the teacher would always praise me. My friends would always praise me. They would always say I was a good drawer. When I was in year 6, 7, and 8, and 9, I was still able to do good drawings because I had the belief of it. There was this art competition once, and because I had the belief that I was a good drawer, I decided to join it. And guess what? I won it. The teacher was so proud of my work. And since our self-image is made up of experiences in our past, that means it can be manipulated towards your success. And like I told you at the beginning of this video, our bodies kind of react to what we see in our minds. And you might think like, oh wait, really? Does that actually work? But picture this. Imagine you're thinking of a sexual thought. What happens when you think of a sexual thought? Your dick gets hard. Even though you didn't touch it, you didn't stimulate it in any way, shape or form, you're still getting aroused because of the image you played in your mind. So why not visualize yourself succeeding? So visualize and play your mental movie of your day going as a success. You wake up and you sit down and you work on your online business and everything's going great, making meaningful progress. You go to school, you socialize, you're making everybody in the class laugh, all the girls are looking at you. You come back from school, you hit the best workout you've hit in such a long time. You're sweating, you're grunting with a smile on your face. Everybody's looking at you. You're having the most fun in your day. You come back, you read some books, you learn, you go to bed and you fall asleep with peace, knowing this was the perfect day. If you really visualize that, your body will almost have this little energy that will want you to reenact that day. And you can imagine if you were able to reenact that perfect day, let's say at least 60% of it, even though it's not 100%, if you were able to reenact 60% of it, you'll probably have a better outcome than if you just go through your day without setting any intention. The idea of visualization is like, you set an intention for your day. Instead of kind of just going AFK and doing what your body thinks is capable of, you kind of set an intention. Instead of kind of like being nervous around guys, around girls, you set the intention, okay, I'm going to speak to guys, I'm going to speak to girls. You visualize it, you see yourself succeeding. So when you go up to speak to a guy or speak to a girl, you already have the confidence at the abundance. Because you already picture it in your mind and your body's already reacting in that way. So you grow up with confidence. You're almost tricking your brain into thinking you went through the experience. And like we said, when you go through experiences, your self-image is built. So you're basically manipulating it. So you're just slowly but surely chipping away and changing your self-image. And the benefit of self-image is that you almost have to act like the person who already reached it to be able to reach that level of success. Like I said, it's not like you reach the success and then your self-image changes. It's you change your self-image and then you reach the success. So instead of trying to figure everything out on your own, one of the best mental models you can have is constantly ask yourself, whenever you have a decision throughout your day, is what would my role model do? So for example, picture a role model that you look up to, like the guy who's living the life that you want to live. Maybe it's Andrew Tate, maybe it's Iman Gadzhi, maybe it's Andrew Kirby, maybe it's Sam Ovens, maybe it's Hamza, whatever. Just picture them in your mind. And whenever you're making a decision through your day, ask yourself, what would my role model do in this situation? What would Andrew Tate do in my current situation? Would he really watch some bullshit YouTube videos instead of actually doing the work? Well, probably not. He likes to do work. I should probably do work, because our life is down to the decisions we make, whether we waste 30 minutes or we read for those 30 minutes. And of course, those things are going to compound. The guy who reads for 30 minutes is obviously going to become better than the guy who just wastes time for 30 minutes over the span of 1 year. So why not make our decisions based on a successful person's view? And even when you do this, something that will happen is, even when you ask yourself this question, you have the idea of doing the more disciplined thing, the better thing to reach your goals, but you will sometimes procrastinate and think to yourself, oh, I don't really want to do it, and do the bad thing anyway. But that's okay. If you improve your decisions by just asking yourself this question, so let's say you save 30 minutes today and you save 30 minutes tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, but then let's say, I don't know, after that on like Thursday, you end up wasting your time for 30 minutes. You already saved a whole hour, so you benefited from this message. Now I want you to imagine this. Imagine this guy, let's call him Jack. Jack wakes up every single day and looks into the mirror and thinks he's ugly. He sees like acne on his face. He's watched a black pill, so he's thinking to himself, oh, I don't have the right body to attract girls. And every single morning he looks into the mirror and sees that in his mind. He keeps like telling himself that, telling himself that, telling himself that. And over the course of 1 year, even though he didn't particularly do anything, just we changed that one variable, that every single day he wakes up and he tells himself that he's ugly, that he can't change, he can't attract women. Do you really think that guy will be able to change himself, improve himself, and look good? And interestingly enough, over that 1 year, he'll start to become ugly and ugly and ugly and uglier, because slowly you start taking care of him less, because he's thinking to himself, if I'm ugly, then why would I take care of myself? And slowly and surely he's gonna go down and down and down and down. Now let's change this, and let's picture the same guy, Jack. He wakes up every single day and he looks into the mirror and he thinks he's great. He's confident. He's got a nice smile, whatever. And every single day he looks into the mirror, he wakes up and he does that every single day. Eventually that self-image is built into him. And these were the same people, but we just changed one variable and they ended up two different positions just because of the way they saw themselves. One of them saw themselves as ugly, and then they reenacted that belief over the days, over the years of reinforcing that belief into himself, compared to the guy who reinforces the belief that he's good looking, that he's confident, that he can attract girls. And these are called affirmations. They might sound a little wishy-washy bullshit, but they actually do work. Affirmations have the benefit that you're almost like chipping away into your identity a little bit. Every single time you are lifting heavy weights, you're at the gym or you're working out at home, and you tell yourself, I'm strong, you almost have a slight buff and you'll be able to lift a little bit more. Picture this. Imagine before you're about to go into a conversation, you tell yourself, I'm confident, I'm going to have a good conversation. Then you're more likely going to have a good conversation than the version of you who's overthinking, who's just not really being present, just mind wandering, thinking about all these scenarios, but just overthinking, and he ends up not talking to anyone. So right now, think to yourself, what are some affirmations you can tell yourself every single morning? Because like I said, imagine you are the same person, this Jack who's making progress, compared to Jack who's just destroying his life. So think to yourself, what are some affirmations you could just tell yourself? I know it sounds a little bit wishy-washy, but they do chip away into your identity and they do improve it. So it's only for your benefits. You might as well just do them. And there is no net loss, so you might as well just do them. If they work, they work. If they don't, you didn't lose anything anyway. So think about some affirmations you could tell yourself. Some could be, I'm confident, I'm an entrepreneur, I outwork 99% of my competition, I'm hardworking. These affirmations that over the years, over the decades, they're actually going to build up and they're actually going to make that new identity for yourself. For example, a few years ago, I always told myself, I'm hardworking, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm better than 99% of the competition, I outwork 99% of my competition. And guess what? Every single morning, I'm doing the work that people take days to do. And I'm just doing it within one day in a productive manner. I researched that I've done it because I had the self-image that I could do it. And you can do it too. When you do this, you're literally tricking your brain into changing that self-image slowly but surely. So every single day, wake up and think to yourself, I'm confident, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm hardworking, I outwork 99% of my competition. If you tell yourself that every single morning, you're almost separating yourself from 99% of competition. Because you're no longer that part of the 99%, you're part of the 1%. So you're separating yourself from them. And you're basically changing your self-image to be in that 1%. And one of the most powerful ways you can change your self-image and make progress is through asking yourself the question, what would my role model do in my situation? Our life can be boiled down to all the decisions we made, whether we eat the ice cream, the donut, or we go home and we eat a steak and we eat healthy, for example. So this is what I've done. This is something I did once. So write in your hand. So actually do this. Don't be a little baby. Actually do this. WWXD. That stands for what would X do? Because you're probably gonna forget about this. So the idea of writing this on your hand is like setting a cue. So let's say you're gonna pick up a pen, or you're gonna pick up your glasses, or you're just going through your day. You see WWXD, and you remember, oh, what would X do? What would my role model do? Would he really waste 30 minutes or 1 hour playing video games? Well, he probably won't. He'll probably be doing some hard work. He'll probably be working on his business. So you do that, and you change that life decision for you. So instead of wasting 1 hour, you work for 1 hour. And then maybe after you finish working, you're going to eat, and there's a little donut on the table counter, and you're about to pick it up, and then you see WWXD. And then you think, would my role model, who's at the stage that I want to be, who's healthy, who's lean, who's hardworking, would he really pick up the donut and eat it? Probably not. And every single day, before you're about to do something, always visualize yourself succeeding, because your body reacts to what it sees in your mind. So if it sees yourself succeeding, it'll be more likely to succeed. So just literally close your eyes and visualize your workout going perfectly. You go to the gym, or maybe you train at home, you warm up, it's all going great, you're going really smooth, like you're loosening up your back, you're loosening up your legs. You start lifting some heavy weights, you start sweating, you start grunting. It feels great, the music is playing, it feels amazing. Everything's going perfectly, you speak to some guys there, you fist bump some guys. It feels great, it feels masculine. And then you come back home with a smile on your face, you're tired, and then you begin reading. That visualization will actually make you more social than if you didn't do that visualization. Because now if you're going to the gym, or if you're going outside, you'll be more likely to socialize, because you already visualize yourself almost socializing in your head. And everything that your brain sees, it thinks that it's reality. Like I said, whenever you think of a sexual image, what happens? Your brain thinks it's a reality and you get aroused. So why not always visualize you succeeding in every action you do? When you go to the gym, when you're about to sit down and do some work, before you're going to school, like all these micro decisions. Just do that every single morning. Always look at yourself in the mirror, do these affirmations, always ask yourself, what would X do, and visualize. So just practically, I don't want you to do all these 3 tactics that I gave you, because you're going to end up overwhelming yourself, and then you're not going to end up with any of them. So what I want you to do is, every single week, just pick one that you can stick to for that whole week, and then be consistent with it. For example, you pick your role model. For example, the first one you're going to do is picking your role model. So you do that. You write in your hat WWXD. So you do that for the week. You don't overwhelm yourself with visualizations and affirmations. You just do that. And then the next week you come back to this video, and then you're already consistently asking yourself, what WWXD, what would my role model do? What would my role model do? What would my role model do? So you pick another one. You think to yourself, okay, I'm going to do visualizations this week. So you do, obviously you keep doing what would my role model do, but also you visualize every single morning. Now you got 2 amazing habits. The next week you come back and you do affirmations. And now you've already built up these 3 habits. Because if you start doing these 3 habits right now, you're going to overwhelm yourself and you're going to end up quitting them. And you're basically going to make like 0 progress. So why not just pick one, improve that, make like 20% progress, and then come back and pick another one, and then make 40% progress, and then pick another one and make 60% progress, compared to you not making any progress. So let's be smart and actually do it slowly but gradually and actually making progress with it. And I really hope you benefited from this video. And if you like my videos, I got a free community you can join where we do coaching calls. I'll eventually be releasing some courses soon after I do more coaching calls so I can help you even better. We chat there, you can socialize there, you can speak to smarter guys instead of kind of speaking to the normal people around the world. Because think about it, what do normal people speak about? They speak about memes, they speak about celebrities. Imagine this, they're literally thinking to themselves, oh, look how great this other person is. Oh, this celebrity I look up to. They're almost like the beta and they're looking up at the alpha. So why would you want to be around them? Why not join a community where everybody's striving to be better? So I'll be the first link in the description.